In the most recent 10.0.7 patch notes, Havoc Demon Hunter and Vengeance Demon Hunter have both received a few changes, mostly a little bit of nerfs for Havoc and some quality of life changes. So in today's video, we're going to go over them, give you my thoughts on them, and tell you guys what they are. So looking up at the patch notes here, we can see that the first two things are for general Demon Hunter, so both Havoc and Vengeance, and they deal with Fodder the Flame. Now, Fodder the Flame, a little finicky. Definitely there's some issues where the demon can spawn really far away, or the soul is in the middle of Timbuktu. I've personally had problems with that. I have a video planned for next week where I was going to talk about some issues with Havoc. That was going to be on it. They might have fixed this, so they've reduced the range that Fodder the Flame demons can spawn by 20%. Kind of hard to test this. It's pretty hard to be able to get one reliably, not out of target dummy. And most target dummies are kind of up against just like a wall or something. So it's pretty hard to get an accurate idea of just how different this is. I'm attacking this dummy right now to talk about it to see if I can get one to spawn. But right now, the other thing is that the demon soul generated will spawn in front of the demon towards you whenever possible. There, one spawn. Wasn't that far away. So I can show you this right now. I'll kill this. So we can see that it's running towards me. So if I fell rush away a little bit and kill it, it should spawn towards me. Yeah, right there. So before, and I have some footage right now up on the screen of me on live. Before the soul could kind of just spawn anywhere around the demon, kind of drop in a little circle around it. So on the screen right now, you're seeing it in live, kind of spawning in the middle of nowhere. But flashback to me in PTR, I was on top of the demon corpse here. It just despawned, and it spawned kind of where my mouse is over this way, with me being even further over there. But before, it could spawn kind of anywhere in this radius, and now supposedly it would always spawn on the side closest to you. It still can spawn pretty far away. I don't know if this is like a major fix. However, it does seem to be a slight improvement in quality of life, and just kind of like the ability to grab the soul and the ability for the demon to reach you. 20% range on the Fodder Flame demon isn't that big of a deal. It's not that like big of a range to begin with. It'll just spawn a little bit closer to you, so you get the buff more. And then the fact that the soul spawns near you will make it a little bit easier. I've definitely had issues where I've had to run around and kind of just pick up the soul in the middle of nowhere. Also, while I'm on PTR, you'll see a ton of Rep Paladins. Their rework just came through. So they are absolutely everywhere. I could not even be in Valdrakken right now. There's an image on the screen of the target dummies. It was crazy. There are so many of them. Anyway, so those are kind of the general Demon Hunter changes. They're nice quality of life changes, but it's kind of too hard to test just solo without a lot of data. So this is one of those things that will require a lot of playtesting. It should make Fodder less awful and much more enjoyable and much more usable. The other changes, we actually have some changes to our talent tree as Havoc. So if we open up our talent tree here, you'll notice one thing, and that is the fact that Fell Eruption and Netherwalk have swapped places with improved Fell Rush and Furious Throws. These ones basically just a one-for-one change. This doesn't really change a lot of things from most of the builds you're going to be running. Yes, it puts them above the first gate, but realistically, we already are spending more than we need to above the first gate anyways, right? We're already grabbing either Improved Chaos Strike and DA, or Fellfire Heart and Burning Hatred, and you're kind of always grabbing Critical Chaos and Dancing with Fate. So that doesn't really change too much. Putting these down here, again, doesn't change too much. It does make Furious Throws a little bit more sensical with Serrated Glaive being here, making this like a much more, I don't want to say streamlined, but it's a build that makes a little bit more sense now if you want to just do all glaives down this right side here. However, the big thing that does change from this is that if I go into the no mover build here really quickly, just clicking out the no mover, it does let me take Netherwalk really easily if I need to. So obviously before, to get to Netherwalk in the new mover build, for those of you who just watched my most recent video, you'd have to drop multiple points. You have to drop 3 points to get it. You'd need 2 points Critical Chaos and then 1 point in Netherwalk, which used to be here. However, now you can just simply drop your 1 looks can kill point and pick up Netherwalk really, really easily, and then still come down here and fill out the rest of the no mover tree. This is a big win for no mover builds. There's certainly fights where you want Netherwalk, right? Just having immunity is really, really powerful. So if this ever comes up, you really want it. I guess theoretically you could also swap into Fell Eruption easier for no mover. But realistically, that was never really an issue because you're coming down this way anyways. So this makes it a little more accessible. It doesn't really change the opportunity cost of taking them. You do still have to drop out those talent points to get there. but they are more easily accessible for builds that weren't running Critical Chaos or Dancing with Fate than before, because you're almost always going to have one or both of these two. The big change is the change to Blind Fury. Now, this is a bit of a nerf, but it's also a bit of a quality of life change. So effectively, what this talent was before is that it was a 2-point node, still is, and for 1 point, you increase the duration of I-Beam by 25%, and then also made it generate Fury. The Fury generation, still there. You're still going to overcap your Fury. Oh, this is actually not updated yet. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I think it's a tooltip thing. But basically what it's supposed to do now is that it's supposed to increase the damage and duration of I-Beam by 10% or 20%, where before it increased only the duration by 25% or 50%, depending on how many points you put into it. Now, this is a really good thing for quality of life reasons. The length of a full channel of I-Beam was actually like pretty long. So this would be over like 2.8 seconds. You have to channel there for like roughly 3 seconds. Just kind of sitting there channeling, and then if something came up under you, you'd have to cancel. And then you'd lose your Furious Gaze buff. It also made you a really big target for interrupts in PvP or stuff like that. But we can see here, you know, just sitting there for a little bit. It does take a bit. Oh, I've been cocooned by a monk. That's fun. However, with this new change, you're going to see that Havoc is more accessible and able to move faster in these scenarios. I actually don't think this is on PTR. I actually didn't even check. I'll put up, I have a recording of me channeling now and on PTR and me channeling on live. So put those up side by side. We'll see if it's working or not. I'm actually not sure now that I'm here. But raw data wise, without actually factoring this in, it is a 4% nerf to this talent from I-Beam, even though the damage increase is there to kind of offset the duration loss. Instead of like a 1.5% modifier, it's now like a 1.44, which comes out to about 4%. So you do end up losing some damage on Blind Fury here. You don't lose any Fury generation. You're still going to overcap Fury like you already do. Like you way overcap Fury with Blind Fury, and that shouldn't really change. You should still have a ton of Fury going into and out of that. So nothing really too big there. However, the 4% loss does kind of suck. Our single target was never amazing to begin with, which is when you use Blind Fury. And it also hurts our cleave and raise as well, which to be fair, we were quite good at. But this also does hurt the middle build in M+, because they were the ones who were taking Blind Fury. Our left-right build did not take Blind Fury, so this doesn't touch them as much. However, we don't really know this yet, but you do gain a lot more GCDs over the course of a fight now, since you're not channeling for as long. And these GCDs might end up being a bit of a bonus to us, and might, ooh, I'm inside of the ground, might end up offsetting the loss a little bit there. So you get a little bit of a kickback there of the GCDs. The last change is not to Havoc, it's actually to Vengeance. So if I swap over to Vengeance here, I'm in combat. How about now? All right, I'm still in combat. But if I swap over to Vengeance, I'll try and fish for a Fodder the Flame proc for you guys. But basically, the health of Fodder the Flame demons has been reduced by 20%. Make sure I have it. Okay, I do have it. So we'll go back in combat here, see if I can proc one. I'll talk about why this change happened and why it's good. So for those of you who are unaware, the demon for a long time as Vengeance was actually unglaveable. If you glaved it once, it actually just wouldn't flat out die. With this health nerf, it actually should die to one of your glaives. But on top of that, and probably better, because you don't really want to glaive your demon anyways, although I am waiting for it to come up here, because it has less health, you will cleave it down 20% faster, right? Because it has 20% less health. So that's actually pretty good. You get a lot more immediate effect from your demon spawning. While on top of that, you also can glaive it in the scenarios where you need to. I really want to get a demon here. So we'll try a little bit here. But overall, it's not really that big of a deal. Oh, there we go. So I should be able to just glaive this in one hit now. Yep. So that was a way of fixing that issue, because before that glaive would not have killed that target. And this is basically just due to the damage difference in Vengeance's glaive versus Havoc's glaive. A few other things as well, but that's basically it. So now you can glaive them down if you need it. On top of that, you also just have a better time of cleaving it in those scenarios where you needed to cleave. So those are kind of just the changes. Not too big. The nerf to Havoc does suck a little bit. I'm unsure if it's intended to be a nerf, because the change of the talent does seem to be just kind of a quality of life thing. So I'll update you guys if there's actually a more change than that. But on top of that, you know, the Fodder the Flame quality of life change is pretty good. Makes the talent much less awful. And then the fact that you can grab Netherwalk now as no mover. So the build where you don't take any of the movement abilities is pretty good, pretty big deal. Before, again, it'd just be such a large damage loss to take it, where now it's pretty simple, straightforward, pretty simple. You just drop out, looks can kill. But that is it with the changes. Those are my thoughts. That's what's happening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment down below as well if you wanted them to do something different. We're hoping for less nerfs, better quality of life changes. But those are the changes. Let you guys know if there's anything else. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys around. Peace out.